This brief overview provides some thoughts around how strategy models get weighted and, in fact, the strategic objectives. The overall concept is this. The strategy model itself describes to us the organization's strategic intent. The dilemma is each reader is going to interpret which strategic objective is more important based on their own perceptions, experience, role in the organization, etc. So, in addition to creating the strategy map, we must clearly communicate to the stakeholders what our current priority is. In this example, in year one, we might have a high weighting down here on focus on process redesign at 50%. The idea being in year one, we're going to train and educate everyone about process redesign with a bias towards cycle time reduction to enable the faster turnaround time. So in year one, the bulk of our focus is on the training and development of this capability. By year two, the weighting is going to reduce from, say, 50% down to 15%, and the additional weighting is going to shift up here to begin seeing some operational benefits from the training. By year two, we should be able to see faster turnaround time and more on-time flights. Now, it may take a while to move from this scenario to a longer-term scenario, which is around revenue and growth. So again, in this example, year five, the weighting has moved down again from 30% down to 10%, and the increased focus now is up here on recognizing some financial benefits through things like fewer planes, which is a long lead item, or developing the market and attracting more passengers, another long lead item. So the weighting shows us their relative importance over time. Typically, we set the weighting on a strategy map for a 12-month horizon, but you may revisit it once a quarter to update our view of ongoing priorities. There are a couple of concepts that might help in thinking through your organization's primary weighting. Concept number one is about the evolution of your organization. So in theory, if we look at organizations across time, how do we increase shareholder value? Typically, a first move for an organization when it's just forming is beginning to work against operational effectiveness. So operational effectiveness type strategies typically occur in organizations that are 1 or 2 years in existence, and it's what we call a short wave strategy. Typically, picking up this curve is a second curve which looks like customer management type activities. These sorts of customer management strategic objectives typically live in organizations during the second and third year of lifespan and are what we call mid-wave strategies. Finally, beyond that horizon, an innovation curve picks up, and product innovation typically lives in organizations that are 3 to 5 years old, and it's a longer wave strategy. Now, depending on where your organization is in its maturity cycle, that doesn't necessarily mean its life, because organizations keep on rebirthing themselves and moving to new markets and so forth. You'll be on one of these 3 waves: operational effectiveness, customer management, or product innovation, and we'd expect to see those emerge as themes across your weighting priorities. A second way to look at this is in terms of perspectives. So if we look at the 4 perspectives and the common questions that we ask, these top 2 perspectives are what we call value consuming. I'm translating value into either happy bankers or happy customers. The bottom 2 perspectives are what we call value building. In these perspectives, I'm building either better competencies, culture, and enabling structures, or better processes to meet customer needs. So this is an investment, value building, and this is a consuming, where we're taking the invested value and translating it into, as I said, happy customers or bankers. And therefore, again, based on the philosophy of your organization, one pair of perspectives may be higher. For example, 3M, the product innovation company, their higher weighting is always down the bottom here, as they're always developing new products. On the other hand, products which are more mature and are just trying to gain a share of wallet have a higher weighting at the top. Now, eventually, once you take a look at a strategy map, the weightings will show you not only those strategic focus areas, but eventually themes. Now, we'll talk about themes later, but the general concept is you can follow the path of higher weightings to determine what the strategy or the theme is for this year. In this example, it's a theme around innovative solutions underpinning building relationships. And in fact, there's a second theme over here around operational excellence, continuing efficiency and quality. So themes emerge through the weighting of those strategic objectives. Or stated another way, if your organization leadership team comes up with a theme, that should also inform what the weighting looks like on the strategy map. To learn more about these concepts, please join us at pm2consulting.com.